Look, I think everything happens for a reason, and I think we had some tough issues to deal with at Skakusa camp, and we dealt with them, which is great. I mean, we dealt with some hard issues that governments worldwide haven't been able to deal with. So I'm very happy with where the guys at the moment. We started afresh, if you want to call it that. We restructured our values. We built it from the start. It's all based on a performance model that we had guys in to help us with. And now's the time where you can put it to the test. It's a growing process, something that we keep looking to strive and be better at. But now hopefully we can get tested on the performance side of things, and who better to test us than the world champions in one-day cricket. So I'm very happy with where we are, very excited, obviously a little bit nervous as well, but I think that's a good thing. It's having nerves, and I think quite a few of the players are nervous as well. It means that there's a lot of care factor around, which is a good space to be in. Yeah, look, we addressed that at the camp as well. The CSA issues, they're there. I mean, you can't hide behind it. We got to try and put that behind us. We understand that we're also in a position to bring some good news to the game of cricket in our country. If we start playing a good brand of cricket and leading from the front in that perspective, hopefully we can change a couple of perceptions about the game in our country. So we're looking really forward to being able to have that opportunity to get some good press over the way that we play. The COVID issue has obviously been it's been a tough time for everyone. We haven't had a lot of training sessions together. I know the guys have been working with their franchise and that, but we've done everything that we could have done. I mean, the amount of chats that we've had over Zoom calls and all that type of stuff in order to try and experience the players a bit more, get them more experienced just by chatting. We had some good consultations with different people, good group chats. So I think we've done what we can in order to build players even while they're actually not playing the game. So in theory, it's all there. It's just now actually getting onto the field and performing. Well, I was a part of the 3TC, so we had a lot of chats. Unfortunately, I picked up COVID at that particular time, so I couldn't travel. But I was with the guys in Art and Soul in the discussions the entire time. With regards to going forward, I've spoken to the guy who was driving the whole movement within our setup. He's pretty happy that we've done what we needed to do, especially at that particular game. Most of the guys, or all of the guys that were in that game, are in this particular setup as well. From his side, he just wants it to carry on going. Like I said, we had the hard chats in Skakusa, and he's pretty happy with where we are at the moment. There are a couple of other issues that our president has raised going forward with regards to gender-based violence and also the victims of COVID, where we'll be flying our flag at half-mast. We will be addressing this with the team. So if there's a black armband to wear, that we'll probably be wearing it because of the president's call. And yeah, it's just an ongoing thing for us. It's not something that we have to continue to show. I think it's more something that you have to live, and that's exactly what we're trying to do in our dressing room at the moment with the big squad. So if the guys who brought it up, if they're happy with it, if they feel that we have to do more, then that'll be a chat that they're open to express their opinions. Our new value system that we're putting is about respect. It's about empathy and belonging, and I think all of those sort of lead to an environment which guys need to feel free and open to talk about these hard issues, and so they certainly have got the support and respect and empathy from everyone within the unit. Yeah, look, I think the bio bubble, living in a bio bubble is something that's not new. I mean, we've been on tours where there's been security issues and that, and we've had to stay sort of in a hotel environment. So the actual living part is not too bad. It's something that we can get used to. We're staying at a fantastic hotel here where there's nice open space, and I think that is something that our management team have done really well on as well, is recognizing the problems that we've picked up around the world, having spoken to other teams that have been in bubbles, and we sort of try to look at that and say, how can we get better in those situations? So we've done that, and the guys are pretty happy with where we're staying at the moment. The regards to playing in front of crowds, I'm not too sure. I mean, we've played a bit of franchise cricket in front of no crowds, so I'm sure a couple of the guys are used to that. International is maybe a different story, but it's something that we're going to have to just get used to. It is what it is, and I'm sure that there'll be no lack of passion. Like I said, we've we're trying to drive a different culture now and within our setup, and I think the passion is going to be there with or without the crowds. We certainly know that there might not be crowds around, but people will certainly be watching us, and it creates an opportunity for us to, like I said earlier, to put some good press out there about the game in this country. It's quite a tough one. I mean, we're obviously looking at a T20 World Cup. I mean, it didn't happen this year, it's happening next year. So in the back of our minds, we are looking at that, and we'll be building towards that with regards to fitness and our technical work and all that type of stuff. But right now, for our short-term goal is to build this culture, and to almost start afresh. We've got a new group of players, a lot of youngsters within the setup. We do understand that, you know, there's a lot of cricket, a lot of time away from home. We go, you know, from bubble to bubble to bubble in the next sort of 6 months. So that's going to be very telling on players, the mental side especially, and the physical side. So what we're trying to do now is build up a very big squad to choose from. It's going to mean that we're going to have to rest players along the way, give opportunities. So that's quite exciting for us as well. And basically just living the philosophy that we put in place for now is the main sort of goal that is in our minds. And obviously the back of our minds, we have got World Cups coming up. You know, the One Day World Cup is a little bit further on, so we've got a little bit more time to blood a few players and see what we've got within our squad. The T20s is around the corner, so that is something that will be a sort of midterm focus for us. But right now, for this particular group, it's about getting out there, living our culture, living our philosophy, and playing the brand of cricket that we feel is going to take us forward and get us back to the top of world cricket. If you had asked me this question before COVID, I probably would have said yes. But let's be realistic, we haven't played cricket in quite some time. So, you know, with regards to form and aging of players and all that type of stuff, I actually haven't got the 15 at the moment. Let's start playing, and I think we'll start working out certain positions that are solidified, and then there may be certain positions that are open as well. At the moment, because there's been no cricket that's been played, especially in our country and in white ball cricket, I'd like to give everyone an open shot at trying to put their hands up. I think it's a good space for us to be in. It's exciting because it also, you know, as a player, you sort of come into it and say, well, listen, there are open spots, and I'm going to be given opportunities, especially now because there's so many tours on offer. So yeah, I think, you know, generally when you're picking a World Cup squad, 80% of the side sort of selects itself, and there's that extra 20% that, you know, there's going to be some tough decisions to be made, and I'm 100% sure that I'm going to have to, well, as a selection unit, we're going to have to make some tough calls. But I think, yeah, the 80% will probably push their spots out and put a pen in their hand and write their own names in. The 20%, let's see how these youngsters come through, and let's see how they perform, and then hopefully we'll be able to select a squad, or maybe in a couple of months I'll be able to give you that 15-man squad. Look, I think the guys having played in IPL is a big bonus for us. The guys have been training at franchise level. I think the move from 4-day cricket to 1-day scenario or T20 cricket is easier than going the other way around. So from that perspective, that's a positive. We have looked at the lack of cricket, and the reason why we're having 2 inter-squad warm-up games is because of that reason. So, you know, there's going to be some training sessions, and it needs to be planned properly. We can't just panic and rush into everything. We've done what we can with regards to the preparation from a planning and a scheduling perspective. It's just now getting some good work done. We're not too worried about the English at this particular stage. Like I said earlier, we're more worried about driving our philosophy and the way that we want to play, and the way that the players want to play as well. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. COVID has given some challenges. This is another challenge that the guys have been playing 4-day cricket instead of T20 cricket. But I think the changeover is a lot easier if had it been the other way around. Well, I'm going to need about half an hour to discuss our new philosophy. So if you've got half an hour. But so we have decided a sort of way that we want to play. If I can tell it to you in short, we want to be nice and aggressive. I think that's the way that the game is going. So you've got to keep up with the sort of the direction of the game and which way it's going. I think the smartness is something that we've spoken a lot about. So it's one thing going out and say, just, you know, go out there and be aggressive. You don't also want to be mavericks. You want to be nice and smart. And I think that is something that we can improve on. So we've identified the sort of way we want to play. And then identifying players that can play that sort of way, and also giving opportunity to guys to grow. You know, if maybe their game plans don't suit that style of play, you know, if we can start moving in that direction, you know, adding a couple of shots to their games if they're batters, adding some different deliveries to bowlers. Then we're challenging players and they're moving in the right direction. So I think it's a whole sort of structure and a planning that we need to give a little bit of time as well. But we also understand that, you know, time is one thing. We are developing ourselves over a short period of time, but we need to win as well. So everything is about performance. The culture, the philosophy is about performance, and we want to win, and we want to learn while we're winning as well. So, you know, it's not a cop out to say, yeah, we need a bit of time to get this philosophy going. The guys are very much understanding that winning is very important. That's how you get confidence as well. Yeah, look, I think the all-rounders are always, I mean, you look at the value of all-rounders in IPL, they always go for the most amount of money because they do add value in both departments. You know, so yes, we need to get all-rounders into the system. I'm certainly one guy that, you know, if there's a batter in the top 5 who can maybe bowl a couple of overs of spin or something like that, or, you know, on a given day, maybe give you a couple of overs that takes the pressure off you know, your frontline bowlers, that's great. That's the challenge all along, is selecting guys who can maybe do that. And if they can't do it, then encourage them to try something new, because it's always going to add more value to the team. So yeah, I think we've selected a group of players here that we've got a couple of options with. You know, you talk about the top 5. We don't quite know who the top 5 is yet. So I mean, if you've got any inroads into that, I'd appreciate that. But yeah, we'll select players for different conditions. Like I said earlier, we've got the opportunity now to have a look at a lot of different individuals. Some guys have played a lot of cricket in the IPL. We might need to look at managing their workloads as well, giving opportunities to guys. So it is a quite exciting time, and an opportunity to try a couple of new faces, give opportunities to guys, and with the process of knowing that we need to win. No, it hasn't really affected the squad when we selected it. COVID is something that is it's in the world, so you're going to have to live with it. You know, there's going to be times where guys get infected with COVID, and there's medical protocols that you have to follow. It's not ideal. I think it affects everyone. You know, from a sporting team, I think there's probably bigger things in life than a sporting team. It affects families, and that's something that we're just going to have to deal with. It didn't affect us when we selected any of our squads, no. With regards to the flying of the flag, I believe that is a call that our president has asked to highlight. I think the flag has been flown at half-mast on the 25th, so it's not even on the day of the game. But I think if the players agree to it, to wear a black armband for the COVID sufferers, then and also for gender-based violence, then then they will. So if you do see a black armband, that will be the reason for it. Sorry, your other question, AB de Villiers. AB was in its discussions before COVID. You know, he's always in the discussions if he's playing good cricket, to be honest with you. Going forward, I haven't had a discussion with him at all. He's been playing IPL. He had a very good IPL as well. So we'll see as we closer to the time in the World Cup. I probably will have a conversation with him and see where he's at. It's a very open conversation that everyone will get to know about as well. I've never hidden behind the fact that we have spoken to him. I still believe he's one of the best players in the world. I think he showed it in the IPL as well. So, you know, if he's a good value to bring into the Proteas setup, then I stand by what I said before, that you know, why not have the conversation with him. With regards to our players playing in the IPL, it was fantastic to see. I mean, it's something good that's come from this whole time is our players and how well they did. I know that there was a lot of hard work that was put in by a lot of those players before they left. You know, the fitness levels were fantastic. I've seen the fitness levels. There's a lot of technical work that different players have done to their games. So, you know, the guys that got good opportunities really performed well, and it only stands us in good stead. I mean, it's a high pressure environment. It was a bubble environment. So for them to come back into our system, we are truly blessed. They formed some good partnerships, KG and Anna bowling together, which is great to see. I haven't really been thinking about England, but I'm pretty excited about our two, and the fact that they have been bowling together. I mean, the having pace is one thing, but you still got to put the ball in the right area. So, and I think both of our guys have been doing that. So yeah, I think you know, you're looking at the guys who really did well in the IPL. You know, Boucher was another one. He's also bowling with some good heat. It is you know, it's a great asset to have. Is two guys with good pace, and it's something that we are continuously looking for in our country, in our systems below the Proteas setup, is to try and get guys through who've got good pace. You know, it's like I said, it's a good asset. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that we can play them together. Like I said, we're going to have to manage that process well. I think, we rested KG. We took a big decision to rest KG quite a bit before COVID. Then obviously COVID hit and he had some more rest. And I think we've seen the value of having a player like that who's fresh come in and bowl really well. So that is something that we'll definitely be managing as we go ahead. We can't keep playing these guys who bowl 150 clicks day in and day out. We're not going to get the best out of them if we do it that way. So it's going to have to be some careful planning and managing from our side going forward. Yeah, it's our batsmen, not me, thankfully. But we'll definitely prepare them for that. I think the one nice thing about, if you're looking at batters, I mean, we'll pair up our two fast bowlers in nets and in these games that we're going to be playing. We'll pair them up against some good pace. So I think, pace is something that you probably get used to, not to always enjoy it, but you certainly get used to that pace. So if we got KG and Anna bowling at 150, I think that's good enough preparation for whatever England might throw at us. So I think that's the benefit of having good pacemen in your setup as well. So first of all, it's doctor-patient confidentiality. So I can't mention who the players are. What I can say is that the players have been separated, and the negative or the positive test, he is not in the hotel. So that is information that I can give you. Has it affected us? Yes, obviously it's affected us, like I said, but I think there's a bigger picture to this whole thing as well. I mean, we're just happy to be back playing cricket. We understand it, and we've made ourselves prepare for this sort of situation. It's a very real situation that we're living in today's world. So yes, it does affect us, but at the moment it's more about the welfare of those players and looking after them from a mental perspective. It's a very tough thing to go through. I went through it as well. So there's the care factor needs to be there for those guys. I mean, sitting in rooms alone for 6-7 days or up to 10 days is quite tough. So that's where our focus is right now, so that when they hopefully do come out of it on the right side, they come back into this environment and they feel like nothing's been lost from their side. So yeah, it is affecting us and our squad, but it is something that we have prepared for. To be honest with you, I mean, I was one of the lucky ones. I didn't even know that I had it. I mean, I've been training for quite a few big runs that we do, during our off season, and I was still running. And when I did find out that I had it, I maybe felt a little bit down for 1 or 2 days. I was actually throwing to a couple of guys in the nets, and my body was aching and paining a bit. And I just thought it's because I haven't thrown balls for so long. But obviously realizing that, that is the reason why I felt those aches and pains. And yeah, thankfully I didn't get a bad dose of it. And before I knew it, it lasted for 2-3 days and it was done. So, hopefully that happens to a lot of people who do get it. And it's something that, it hasn't happened. And, it is quite sad when people get it to the extent that they have got it, where they actually, they lose their lives. So we respect that, and we've got to respect that situation. That's why I always keep saying that this COVID thing it's bigger than sport, and that's why we have to look after the actual person who's got it rather than thinking about a sports team. So that is where our heads are at the moment for this period of time.